Hello everyone. I'm going to follow up to our interactive dashboard tutorial because several of you in class had questions about why everything couldn't really reset. And Tableau is a little finicky about resetting. So what most people do is they create a reset filters button. You can often reset everything by pushing the escape key on your keyboard, but sometimes it doesn't work for some reason. So for example, if you click California here, I'm basically just starting with or from where you left off, and then click here, and then here, and then here. Not everything always resets. Uh, and a lot of you were like, why is the bubble not resetting? So, sometimes if you push escape, it'll reset, but sometimes it won't. And then this one, the bubble chart doesn't seem to follow those rules. So what people do as a fail-safe is to create a reset button. So I'm going to show you how to create a reset filters button for this interactive dashboard that we made yesterday. And then I'm going to show you how to do it for this dashboard and for the product analysis dashboard. And then I'm going to also show you, since we have two, since this dashboard links, the sales analysis dashboard links to the product analysis dashboard, I'm going to show you how to make a back button that sends you back to dashboard 1 so you can start from scratch. So a lot of times what people do is they'll kind of make these dashboards as like, you can make several different dashboards that link to each other with several different, items on there, and that goes back to like a main dashboard. So it's kind of up to you how you really design this stuff. But I'll show you how to do the reset and the back so that you can kind of get inspiration from there and perhaps apply it to your hands-on assignments and your group projects. So the first thing we need to do is create the reset button. So if you remember, I'll just kind of walk through what's happening. Kind of the logic here of this dashboard is to click on one of the states, and then you say, okay, here's the profit and sales scatter plot correlation basically. And then you click on one of these, you know, and that shows you the actual customer name. And this one is Ted Trevino. And then this bubble chart up here will show you a lot more information about the specific products that Ted Trevino has ordered. So you can kind of click within there, and it shows you the profit, sales, etc. And then if you're not sure what these products are, you can click the bubble, and this will show you what this actual product is, so and what segments it is, what category it's in, and what the product name is. And again, you can kind of manipulate this as well. And if you're not super sure, you can click here and then see the images on Google. So hopefully you all are there. And then I'll show you how to do the reset and the back button. So I just did the reset with the escape key, but again, it didn't reset the bubble chart. And sometimes, again, the escape key works and sometimes it doesn't. So, you know, and this is really applies to actions too, and we can also reset the filters, but right now I'm going to show you how to do it. It should work for both filters and actions in theory. So the first thing we need to do is create the reset button. So create a new worksheet. Then you go to create calculated field and name this reset button 1. So I'm just going to call it 1. And then what you need to do is we're just going to add the text for the button. Basically the button is just going to be this worksheet. So to add text, you just click this little apostrophe, and then you can write whatever text you want, you know? So what we're going to call this, we're just going to name it for the user is reset all filters so that it's kind of actionable for the user. And then click apply, click OK. And now what we need to do is put this text on the worksheet. So what you do is drag this reset button calculated field that you made into the text box here. And then it's very small. So what I recommend doing is there's this little view drop down, go to entire view, and then you can kind of see the entire box. So this will be our button, but the text here by default is very small. So we need to change it a little bit. So click within the text button, click these little three little dots in the gray box. And then, so this is the reset text, right? This is what's in, it says reset all filters in this field. So you can, change the font however you want it to look. If you want to look like stencil or something silly, it's up to you, right? So I'm going to make it Gothic. And then it's still pretty small, so you can kind of see what it looks like if you put apply. That might not be the best because you can't really see what it says. So I'm just going to go with this one. And then make it a little bigger. Font size 9 is pretty small. So why don't we go with the 20? Click apply and you can see it here. That looks pretty good. You can change the color if you want to. So maybe we'll just choose pink. Apply. Okay. Now you have it here. What you notice that's default Tableau default is putting this text to the left and putting it in the center. So if you click the text box again, the alignment is set to automatic, and you can change a bunch of stuff about the text here. I want to make the reset button go in the middle so that it's easier to see when we put it on our dashboard. So we're going to put alignment in the center. And if you really wanted to, you could change like the look of the letters, but that seems kind of silly for our purposes. So let's just leave it like that. Now we have our worksheet. Okay, and let's name this sheet reset button 1. So when we go, we're going to put it on our sales analysis, and we'll make another one for the other dashboard. So we'll put it on our sales dashboard, and you'll see in the sheets, now we have another sheet called reset button 1. So what we need to do is drag this. So a good place to put this is over here with all the other information. And this is just the worksheet. That's all it is. So you don't want to see the title, so get rid of the title. You can make it floating, so you can kind of manipulate it a little better. And you can kind of go here. If you notice, it goes to the center. That's why I put it in the center. You can also change the look of this if you want to. You can right-click, format, and then this formatting box comes up. You can format the text. You can format the shading of the button. So if you want to shade it like, pink and green or something, I guess this is green. That's up to you, right? There's a bunch of shading options here. So I'll just, leave it green so you can see uh, what it does. Right now it's highlighted, so it defaults to blue when it's highlighted. So it looks like that, right? It's shaded green, it has pink. Pink and green is on my mind because my daughter loves Wicked, so it's the Glenda Elphaba effect. Now that's where it looks pretty small, so I'm just going to resize it here. So you may want to think about how you're actually going to view the dashboard if you resize everything. Yeah, so there we go. So reset all filters. So this will be the button for your user. Um, your user will click this, and then these filters will reset. Okay, so it's not going to do anything yet because it doesn't have anything to do. So we need to give it something to do. Okay, let's give it something to do. Before we do that, we need to notice that we have a bunch of fields here that we created when we created our worksheets. So we have year, region, city. If you hover over this, you see country/region, state/province, profit, category, customer name, product name, segment, profit, sales, customer name, region, segment, profit, sales. So to reset all of these things, these fields on the dashboard, we need to make sure the reset button is associated with resetting all of these fields. Okay? So I'll kind of go back and forth when I create it because I can't remember all these different fields. so bear with me. So the first thing you need to do is create an action. So go to actions. Then you're going to do add action filter. So we're basically going to reset a bunch of filters. So let's name this action reset button 1. The source for the reset will be the reset button 1 worksheet. So we're going to click the reset button. So click means select. And then we are going to basically filter everything in the bubble, the profit map, and well, let's just do the first dashboard. So the profit map is on the second dashboard. Well, that's not true. So profit map is the state map. Sorry, I should have labeled it better. So the bubble map, profit map, and scatter plot on the sales analysis. Yes, this is the sales analysis dashboard. And so we're going to reset those worksheets. But what we're not going to reset is the reset button. So unclick that. Okay? And then here you want to show all values. You don't want to keep the values filtered. And then we're going to filter everything. You want to actually select the fields. So again, we have a lot of fields that we want to reset. Resetting basically means when you click the button, you want to show all of these values that have been filtered. You don't want to keep the filtered values. So we need to add the fields that we want to show all the values for. So there's a lot of fields here, so I'm going to go back and forth. This is kind of the tedious part. So the first field, if you look up here, is year. If you want to, basically if you look at this filter, it's the year order date filter or field. So you want to add that. Then you want to add region. So just type REGION. Then you want to add city. So I'm just doing it on the ones I can see. Then you want to add, I can't hover over this. So we know we want state / province. We know we want country / region. So even though we have region specifically, we also want country region because it's a part of this data set. We also want sales and profit. So again, we're adding all these fields that we want to show all the values for when we click that button. I believe we also need customer name because that's in the bubble sheet and the scatter plot. We need segment. I believe there's also product name. And that should be good for now. So I'm going to click OK. And OK. So now if you click California, here, oops, we haven't done that one yet, and then reset, basically if you click this button, it will reset these. Sometimes you have to click it twice and then it will reset. If it's not resetting, go to your dashboard and actions again. And for the, just kind of check these. So scatter plot, you need to make sure the scatter plot, so this is basically if you click the scatter plot, it will filter the bubble. Make sure these are not checked because sometimes the reset button gets checked here. So make sure the scatter plot is only filtering the bubble if that's what you want. At least for our tutorial, that's kind of what we did. So we click select scatter plot to filter the bubble chart. Okay? Then go to your state selection. So you click select profit map and that filters bubble, profit map, and scatter plot. Click OK. Click bubble selection. So the bubble selection will filter the next, product graph. So you can just kind of click. That should be the same. We can worry, you don't have to change anything with the web. And then if you look at your reset button again, just make sure these are here. So reset button 1, select. Make sure your reset button 1 is unchecked. Sometimes this messes it up. And then make sure your fields are here. So category, city, country, region, customer name, product name, profit, region, sales, state, year, And I don't think I need to add any more. So double check that everything basically that you hover over is there. So for example, if you hover over here, category, customer name, product name, segment, profit, sales, you want to double check in the reset button. I wish this opened a little more, but category, city, country, region, customer name, product name, profit, sales, segment. It looks like everything is here. Okay, and then click OK. And then if you click here and then reset, you know, sometimes you have to click it twice and then that should reset everything. Sometimes it takes a second for Tableau to recognize because there's so much data in the Superstore that it might take like a couple minutes for Tableau to kind of recognize what's happening behind the scenes. So if you click here again, click here, you see Jessica and you just want to reset the filters on dashboard 1, that should work. Now, we need to do the same thing because we have another dashboard. So it's basically the same thing. Um, we just want to reset these. So if you create another worksheet, we'll call it reset button 2. And then create a calculated field and name it reset button 2. And then with the text again, apostrophe, reset filters. Or name it whatever you want. Okay, so drag your text, your pill into the text. Um, format it however you want to. I think last time we did 20. You can change the font if you want. Change the color. Last time we did pink. Why don't we do orange? Click apply, click OK. And then, last time I changed the view here so I could see it. Reset filters. So again, alignment, center, and there's our orange. So if we go to our product analysis, this is the second dashboard. There's reset button 2. Just drag it over. Get rid of the title. Make it floating. There you go. You can also make things floating by clicking this down here. Sometimes I found it easier just to click this little down arrow and click floating. So this will be our reset button for this sheet. So we need segment, category, product name, and sales. Okay? Category, customer name, product name, segment, profit, sales. So we need all of these things. So again, to create another action. So basically all this happens through actions. Filter action. So I want to reset our filters again. So we're in the product analysis. So let's just keep the reset button in the product analysis. So on select, reset, or the source, the source is the reset button 2. Click select, and then you want to reset the product bar graph. You want to show the values here, and then selected fields. So we have segment, SEG. We have category. We have product name. So that should work. I'm not sure if we really need the other, so let's just find out. And then click OK. So let's filter this. So let's kind of go through here, go here, go here, click. So we reset our filters here, right? So again, the logic here, if you start from the state, you're like, oh, let's see what's happening in the state. And this will apply to the filters as well, which I'll show you another time, but this is just really to reset the actions. So you click Washington, you see, oh, the sales and profit looks fine perhaps, but what's going on up here? and then you click here, and you see Raymond and the sales and the product. You're like, oh, there's a copier that's pretty expensive. It's not making a lot of profit. And then you want to reset this filter. There you go. Now, what I want to show you how to do is create a back button because this is dashboard 2 and you want to get back to it. Sometimes you see like a back button on a dashboard rather than just going down here and clicking the dashboard again. So I want to show you how to do that. So go to the product analysis. I'd move this up, you know. You can move these buttons wherever you want. I'll just leave it here. So we need to create the back button. So do another worksheet, calculated field, let's call it back button, and then do the text. You could do like, well, back to dashboard, or you could say back to sales analysis. Let's just do this, dashboard 1. Apply, okay. Drag it into text, change the view so you can see what it actually says. So back to dashboard 1, change the text, make it bigger. This might need to be a little smaller because there's more text here. Back to dashboard 1. You'd probably want to keep the same fonts. I don't remember what we were using. I'll just change it to this one. You can make it, what do we do? Make it blue perhaps. Apply. Back to dashboard 1. Change the alignment here to center. Then go to your product analysis. Oh, I forgot to name the sheet. So back button. Oops. There you go. Then go to your product dashboard. Add the back button worksheet. So you should be pretty good at this so far. Get rid of the title. Make it floating just like last time. Maybe we'll put the reset button up here and then the back button here. You can make it a little smaller. And you can format all this however you want. I'm just kind of showing you how to do it functionally. So now we need to give it an action. So it's all about the actions, right? So go to dashboard, actions. It's the filter one again. Let's do back to dashboard 1. So our target sheet will be the back button. So we want to click it, right? And then we want to go back to our sales analysis. So we want to click the back button, select the back button, and then go back here. And, we already have a reset button for all the filtered values. So all I want to do is just go back to these graphs in the sales analysis. So just leave that and click OK. Click OK. So this should work. So now we are back to dashboard 1. So we say, okay, BC, boop, boop, boop. Look at some images here. Reset this image here. Back to dashboard 1. And then, the filters are still here. So you can reset all these. And now you have a little more interactivity here. Okay? That's pretty much it. Oh, I did want to say one thing. I haven't really talked about this, but it's always good to have a title here. So this title by default is just the name of the dashboard. So you can change this to whatever you want of dashboard. And then you can say like data source sample superstore and make this a little smaller. And then you could make this a different color. So it's always good to have, a title on your dashboard. You can change the alignment as well. Okay. You can make this look a little better and format it however you want. right? And then you may have to reformat all this stuff too. Okay, so that should be good. And I hope you don't have any, if you have any questions, just let me know. This should be working, hopefully, if you followed the video specifically. Let me know if it's not. And again, you basically just do this, 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 go back, reset the filters. So now it's like more of a web page interactivity style than not. All right, well, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. See ya on Monday.